How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Silver Screen and Chill podcast. My name is Matt.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Ian.
And today we're talking about the two shows that started this week that we just got to talk about, X-Files and Baskets. So let's start for the X-Files, right?
X-Files,
X-Files, okay.
I thought it was it came up strong, with the X-Files. The Scully, Scully and Mulder are back, It's awesome to see, yeah.
It was pretty cool to see them, banter and have their little arguments. One thing I have to say is, does Scully seriously still not believe that there's things out there? I think there's been 2 movies who's been abducted. I don't know about this Mulder. Could be wrong.
She took 13 years off, man.
Yeah, she forgets. No, but
exactly.
It was good. I thought the second episode was much better than the first episode.
I actually liked the first episode.
Did you like it?
Yeah,
more?
I did. I think I liked it more. It's just because I'm a big fan of alien conspiracies and all that. I think that the fact that was like the central focus of it,
I am too.
to start it up again was good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. It looks like next week's episode, or the one appearing, the third episode, is going to have to do with like monsters again, which was always really cool to see X-Files do, not just be aliens. Have monsters in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I thought they did a good job bringing it all back. The Joel McHale character seemed kind of random at first, but he really did bring things together.
Yeah, he helped a lot.
There's a reason he was there.
It was kind of cool. You know what else was cool too is seeing the X-Files, seeing Mulder and stuff, find out about Edward Snowden, real life conspiracy. I thought that was really cool. 9/11 surprisingly is making a huge
the king of all conspiracies.
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez. But it was good. I thought it was pretty good. Like I said, the second episode was better. I thought some of the acting was a little stiff at times. A lot of name dropping. Mulder, Scully. Mulder, Scully.
Yeah, definitely. I think the first episode they definitely wanted to cram a lot of stuff in.
Yes.
X-Files.
And me and Daniel always say, did you watch the old X-Men cartoons or even Spider-Man cartoons?
Yeah.
We always say when things are moving fast, we say it's moving like an X-Men episode, because if you ever watch those, they cram 3 comics into one. And it's they move quick. And that's how the first episode was, I thought.
Definitely.
To be honest, I never watched the X-Files back in the day, so this was my
we were
first
all pretty young.
introduction to it. Because back in the day, the theme song scared me too much, and it was late enough where if I heard it, it's time for bed.
That's exactly what happened to me.
I would just go to bed.
I would be hanging out with my parents and went, all right, this is my cue. Because it like I was just talking to you guys before the podcast that we started. When I try to rewatch it before, the theme song still kind of
still scary.
It's still eerie. It's still one of the eeriest pieces of music.
I know this one here, and I was still pretty young for that. So I remember being I remember sitting there with my brother and my mom, and they'd watch it I remember the theme song come on, and I'd be really intrigued. This is really weird, but I'd be really scared too.
It's a trippy thing.
And the thing to remember too, that I think a lot of people will start complaining about. I saw a couple of reviews say stuff it's kind of. I don't know the right word for it, but what I'm trying to say is the X-Files were really pioneers in what they did.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things that may seem kind of dated. I remember I started rewatching the series. I don't know if you ever tried to watch the series.
No, I saw the last movie that came out.
Oh, yeah,
that was really bad.
Was it bad? I heard the movies were pretty good.
The most recent movie was really bad.
And that's crazy. Think about it. This TV show has had 2 movies. One came way after the show was over, right? Or did they both?
I don't know about the first. I only saw one movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I think one came out kind of while it was still hot. Fresh off the X-Files.
Yeah.
And I never knew it was about paranormal stuff, in general, or monsters or anything. I thought it was strictly aliens. So I think that movie I saw was, when it came out, 2004, 2005?
I imagine the movies are alien based.
It was really weird. I couldn't, to be honest, I don't remember much about what it was about. I just remember it was super weird. I think it had to do something with religion.
Okay.
That was weird too.
Kind of like a Da Vinci Code.
Kinda, yeah. But it wasn't good at all. I can't remember much about it.
When I think of X-Files, I just think, pop culture. I think the truth is out there. That's just it just screams 90s, And
I want to believe.
Yeah.
That too.
I like that Fox really, you could tell they wanted to do well. It's one of their shows. They're like, we need to make this good.
Yeah, they're really letting it kind of do its own thing. I was really surprised by, spoiler. If you're watching this, there's going to be spoilers. We got nothing to talk about. But the part where she cuts open her baby.
Oh, yeah.
I was
the second episode,
whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, all the graphic images in this were really stood out to me. They really
went for it.
Yeah, or when the psychic kid makes the doctor's eyes
yeah.
and like no.
Oh, yeah.
What else was pretty crazy is him. He used the envelope opener to stab himself.
Oh yeah, yeah. They really.
But it was
graphic for a couple.
Yeah,
of
I was entertained. I enjoyed it.
The special effects getting better, like around Hollywood, has actually really helped that show. 'Cause
Yeah.
even when you in the first episode when the alien ship
the
crashes,
ship crashes, yeah.
like that looked good.
Yeah.
And like before, they just could not do that. They could not do that in the 90s.
You know what's
so.
funny is like 20, 30 years from now, whenever people are watching whatever Netflix is next, you know, and they're gonna be like, oh, I want to watch X-Files. They're gonna see the big jump in quality from like season 9 to 10. It's gonna be like super drastic.
Yeah, definitely. But it's like we keep on saying, we're just happy it's back, and I think it's a really iconic show.
You feel really nostalgic. I felt really like, nostalgic.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I think is also what I do like that they're doing is it's only 6 episodes, and I think a lot of times that when people they do this with video games a lot. I'm sure you know people get really nostalgic, like, yeah, we need to see that game come back. We need to see that sequel, and then it happens and no one cares. It's kind of like, oh, we did it, but I don't care, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of glad that it's only 6 episodes. Because then it won't be like, oh yeah, X-Files is back. X-Files will not be returning for a second season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or if it does return for a second season,
It'll be cut off like in half.
It just won't be as good.
Yeah, and I don't want to see it fail.
No, definitely not. And I think Fox is very aware of that they cannot have this fail because so many people love it.
We live in a different, we live in a different time than we did in the early 90s and 90s.
Definitely.
I think we're always excited about aliens, but I think some people, especially younger audiences, aren't as into aliens anymore. And you look at the shows it's competing with that are on, like it's like Seth MacFarlane block on Fox. You know what I mean? So it's kind of.
But I mean, it stands out. It's one of the more dramatic shows making a comeback now.
That's good though.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I like to point out too, for basic television, this show's actually it's a step above. It's a step above.
Yeah. It's good. It's good directors and writers and stuff like that. So
it's closer to like the basic cable shows that we've been seeing, opposed to like some of the crummy basic television shows.
I kept hearing about Vince Gilligan was going to be a writer, and I didn't see his name on any credits.
Was he?
I didn't. That's what I
know he worked on X-Files
back in the day, but I remember I kept hearing like, oh yeah, he's going to be back for the reboot. And I didn't see his name in any credits or anything, so I was a little surprised.
Maybe he'll work on one of the later episodes.
Maybe he's the finale guy.
Maybe.
That guy can do a finale.
We know he can write
show.
Yeah.
Or my only complaint with it was between the first and second episode. I thought, like I said, I'm not watching the old series. I didn't know where the story was going. I thought it would kind of be like continuous.
I could see that.
So from the first episode being about aliens, and then the second episode being completely different and about like experiments on people and babies and all that stuff, was like, wait, I was like, what? Especially like I watched them just back to back.
Yeah.
And just like, what? I thought we were talking about the aliens, and wasn't that girl that got blown up really important, and Mulder like really cared about finding her, and now it's like, so where's this kid? It's like, and I thought I knew like part of the story from the old
the old
seasons, and like them having a baby, and it was kind of you felt really sad for them, like seeing all their flashbacks of like their son.
Yeah, that was good. You know, part that creeped me out for some reason, and it was really like, I don't know if it was meant to be creepy, but it creeped me out, is when that lady, she notices her daughter's missing, so she goes to the and she's like, oh my gosh, she drowned in the pool, so she jumps in, and the daughter's just chilling there. For some reason, that really creeped me out.
Because it's disturbing, you know?
Yeah, because she's just chilling in her water, and the mom's like... I think I felt more scared by the mom's reaction, like, whoa.
Like, what are you doing?
Because I would be your reaction.
What are you
whoa,
doing?
you're not... I mean, I'm glad you're alive. Like, what's going on? Or when, or that same lady when she, like, cuts out her baby.
Yes.
And
that was pretty graphic.
For Fox?
Yeah. I've only seen one other show do that, and that was Game of Thrones. And then he cut the baby out. They just, Game of
Thrones says a lot of...
Yeah, they were not worrying about getting the baby out.
That was...
But X-Files was good. I was thoroughly entertained.
It's definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it yet, even though we spoiled it.
Download. I had to download the Fox app. What was cool though, I downloaded it on my Xbox, and I thought I would have to put in like the cable provider and stuff like that. But they actually had an option that was like, oh, and if you don't have a subscriber, go ahead and watch it anyways. You just have to sit through commercials. There was a lot of commercials, but I mean,
it's on Hulu too. I watched it on Hulu.
Was it on Hulu?
Yeah.
Cool.
I watched it on Hulu last night. And then next up, we're going to talk about Baskets, the new FX show with Zach Galifianakis.
What a perfect show for Zach Galifianakis.
It really is. It really is.
It's his humor all the way.
Oh, 100%.
It's 100% him trying to be a French clown. top tier.
Yeah.
Which is in Europe, by the way. France is in Europe.
I mean, the show is just about him moving from his clown school in France back home to Bakersfield, and he's a rodeo clown.
Yeah.
And he's just a scumbag.
Yeah,
man. He's just a complete
He's
scumbag.
really funny. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a Louis show also, right? Is Louis C.K. a
He's
director, writer, creator?
he's
He's a writer, I know that, because I remember seeing, it
He's
surprised
also a
me.
producer.
I didn't know anything about it, and then when the credits rolled on the first episode, I saw written by Louis C.K., Zach, and Zach
Yeah, because
Galifianakis. I
it
was like,
definitely
whoa.
has his humor in it. It has that over-exaggerated, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about? That
yeah.
humor, like that. It's really funny that I love. They're a good team together. If he's on the show or not, but they're like that's a good.
Well, you can
mix.
tell Louis C.K., other than the Always Sunny, they really lean on Louis C.K. because he's just a good comedic mind.
Mhm.
And so they just latched on to Louis
Yeah.
C.K. Do whatever you want. We'll pay for it.
Yeah,
It'll be a good show.
He was a writer for many years, I think, like before he became.
He wrote with Conan. And
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
So he
had a lot of
definitely
experience.
he has experience, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Baskets, it just when they open up and he's riding his scooter and that bee flies up into his thing and he starts crying, he starts going around all crazy and he's just like, just pass me, and then
That's a bee! All I can think of is that, have you seen that, the Between Two Ferns episode with Bruce Willis?
Oh,
and he just went,
Wasp.
yeah, he just crashes, and then the insurance lady, like, you could tell that that's, like, she's, like, in love with him, and just wants you around, and she's just like...
I kind of like that they did that. I thought that was funny. Like, here's this perfect girl for you, but you're just gonna.
Which is definitely Zach Galifianakis humor.
You want the French girl that hates you and just wants $40 for HP. She has her own separate, like, living arrangement.
What a good addition, Louis Anderson.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I had so surprised. I didn't know he was. I knew not much about the show besides Zach Galifianakis wanting to be a clown.
Yeah, I didn't know
And
anything
then-
while watching it.
And then here comes Louis Anderson as his mom.
Louis Anderson.
The last thing I
as
just
his mom.
remember Louis Anderson is Life with Louis. Did you ever watch that cartoon?
I did watch Life with Louis.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Life with Louis.
Did you ever watch Life with Louis?
No, I did not.
I thought you for sure would. That was like because I remember you didn't have cable back then, so that was like a base. That was a Fox show, I think, a cartoon. Life with Louis. It's like this like it was a little fat kid.
Baby Louis Anderson.
Yeah.
But then, like, it was like one of those Eddie Murphy deals
Look
where all
that,
the
if anyone look that up, it's really. Anyways,
all the characters are voiced by Louis Anderson. It's just the same voice. Dad, what are we going to the show? Louis, we're going. It's just like that. That's safe.
I actually kind of really liked when his mom kept on pulling out all those like Costco vitamin waters and go, no, which flavor do you want?
She's like legitimate. We have like raspberry, strawberry, mango, banana. That's new. That's wow.
You know what part had me dying is when she's telling what all like, oh yeah, his brother does this. They're all like doing really cool stuff, and then she goes, and then he climbs Mount Everest. Like that's just his job.
Oh, the twin brothers that are just amazing at everything. They're
and he
DJs,
climbs Mount
too.
Everest. Like
Oh, it's funny that Zach Galifianakis actually has a twin brother that's running that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Those little like college infomercials are so funny. We teach you like there's like a million subjects about ice cream trucks, ice cream truck repair, ice cream truck sales.
Yeah.
Or when he's walking through and it's like I learned license plate making. I did. I did.
Yeah.
License
So
plate. All those little things, and then even the Costco manager that's. Like,
Oh yeah,
trying to fire
the
the
chick.
the girl, his insurance agent. He's watching the videos beforehand, like how to fire someone. He's like, don't make eye. It says don't make eye contact. And he's like, and she didn't care about losing her job. Did you notice she didn't care about being fired?
Well, I think she wanted to
go
go
missing.
I think she wanted to hang out with. She wants to like hang out with Baskets, I believe, right? That's
Yeah. Well, she wants to hang out with Baskets, and I also think she actually felt bad for the manager feeling bad about having to fire her.
Right.
And I really thought it was
Nice.
funny when she was like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna have to fire you." She's like, "Well, if you want, I could just go missing." I thought that was really funny.
Or so you can write you're fired on a piece of paper and just put it on the desk.
Yeah, she was telling him how to fire.
I actually enjoy his Juggalo friend.
Oh, the
I
Juggalo.
think that's a real, I don't even. That's so obvious to like include that. You know, the clowns and that was. I like his character.
Yeah,
It's funny.
it was
His
really
protege.
He worked when he ended up working at Arby's.
Oh, I like the Arby's. Working at Arby's was like a big deal. It's like,
Yeah.
you just work at the roast beef sandwich place. Arby's? No, I'm working at Arby's. And it's like, his mom's like, why don't you work at Arby's? He's like, I'm not working at Arby's. I've got a real job. And then the juggler's just like, that man taught me everything.
Yeah.
Welcome to Arby's. How can I help you?
I thought the whole scene where he's trying to teach him when he smells
That was
the
very
paper.
funny.
Yeah, I just really thought it was funny.
Yeah, that was good. Zach Galifianakis is we've seen him act more, take on a little more serious comedic roles. Still comedic, but
like Birdman.
That's what I'm saying, like Birdman. I think he did something else, didn't he? Or is that the only one that he's done so far that's been like?
That's the more recent one that I can remember. I can't remember much else.
I'm trying to think if he's because I know he did The Hangover, and he did something. Oh, he did that movie with what's that guy's name? Iron Man.
Robert Downey Jr.
He did that movie with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, what's that movie called?
You remember that?
Due Date. Was it Due Date?
That was pretty like.
Oh, Due Date. It was Due Date.
He was really cashing in on the Allen success.
Yeah, totally.
But I like seeing him come into a more serious comedic role.
Yeah, because Alan was kind of like his personality, but this show is like
that's what
totally
I'm saying. Yeah,
his
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too. Is that he's kind of the same guy. That's not always a bad thing that we talked about with Sylvester Stallone. That's not always a bad thing. But I like him, taking a more serious role.
Yeah, definitely.
It works for him. And Birdman.
And FX is really good at showing the serious comedy. Like we always talk about Louis and how depressing the show gets.
Pretty heavy.
Did you get depressed in watching this at all? Like since Louis worked on it, like you kind of get like it gets really dark moments,
Well,
but it keeps but what's cool about it is what I like that they're doing is the material's pretty depressing, but it makes you realize that in real life the humor is always going to be there.
Yeah.
Humor is always going to be there. The problem I had with Louis is I wouldn't laugh sometimes. So I'd be just really, you know what I mean? It would just be really depressing.
And it would sometimes get way too real.
Yeah, it'd get way too real, and that's fine. And he's, I'm always a fan of artists challenging their core audience. I'm always a fan of that. And Louis had some real things to say, and I think there's a lot of episodes where he does say a lot of real things that are very dark and depressing, but you don't always watch that when you're watching a show. You know what I mean? You don't always watch that, or want that.
Yeah, and like you said, with challenging the audience, Louis doesn't care. He knows.
No, he doesn't.
He'll figure out whatever he wants to do, and he'll make it work.
And he's an artist. He doesn't want to just come out and just keep making small wiener jokes all the time.
Yeah, and they're easy and they can pay the bills, but he wants to really do something. Yeah,
and he's. Part of being a comedian too, I think, is being a really good observer of life. Really taking in life in a certain way, and he's really good at that. But the problem with Louis was, he really wanted to depress us. Maybe he wasn't trying to, but he did it.
But he did, yeah. And if he wanted to depress us, bravo.
That one episode, there's several of them, but that one episode always comes to mind when he reunites with his old comedian friend, and he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna kill myself," and then you're like, "Jeez." Really just stab me.
I remember laughing at that.
It's a really dark moment.
I remember I was sitting there watching it and then being like,
What's going on?
Is this serious? Is he serious?
And then he's all talking about it. He goes, "Why'd you have to tell me this?"
Yeah, and he's not wrong.
No,
and
that's exactly. No, that's
and that's what
right.
That's how any of us would think. Dude, I haven't seen you in years, and you tell me this. I don't want to know that.
That's right.
But anyways, back to Baskets. I think it's gonna be a good show. At least for a season.
I like that there's actual you can see little instances of character development, like how in the first episode it's all about him being trying to still want to be a French clown. He's like, "My name is Renoir."
Yeah.
And even and at the end when the rodeo guy finally calls him, he's like, "Thanks you, Renoir," and he's like, "It's Baskets."
Yeah,
it's Baskets.
It's a
Baskets the clown.
It's got fun characters. I think it's gonna be a good show. Like I said, at least for a season, because who knows what could happen.
Oh, this show could go many different directions.
Yeah, the longer sometimes the longer a successful show goes on, it starts getting bored of what it's doing. You know what I mean? So they start just
more tendencies to jump the shark.
Yeah, they start just trying new things. They want to expand as artists.
But like we keep on saying, there's really good characters. I feel like the French wife is really funny. Someone that Zach Galifianakis can really bounce off of. The traveling insurance lady is she's great.
She's doing a lot for an insurance agent, by the way. I don't think any insurance would drive.
Well, I think that goes back to her. She's like Baskets.
She's weird. Yeah, she's weird like Baskets.
Yeah, so I think they just.
I mean, she tried to sell an executive membership to that orange guy. That's not the orange guy.
Also, and you think of it's the end of the first. Yeah, the end of the first episode. I think when she gives him his scooter back, and he's like, "I don't need you anymore," and then she drives into it. I thought at first it was intentional, I want to hang out with him more, and she hits it. But then they played it off like it was an accident. I was like, "Oh, okay." It was an accident. She legitimately just
and then he's like, "Pick me up."
Yeah.
Because he's an asshole. I was like, why are you bugging me for rent every month?
And I don't know about about
money,
you guys.
money, money.
I don't know about you guys, but I didn't even know what it was about, to be honest. My mom actually told me about it. She said it was really funny, and I had no clue what to even expect. I didn't know he was a clown or anything. I just watched it, and I was really...
I'd seen the previews on FX, and they just showed him in the rodeo getting hit by a bull, like in a really dark, like artsy,
yeah,
like the
pretty
artsy
funny.
look. And I just saw that for the preview. I was like, man, what kind of shows?
Yeah,
is this?
yeah.
Like you just keep on talking about with like Louie. I was like, man, this might be depressing.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It brings light to a depressing...
Very
matter.
depressing.
Very.
He is a clune.
Yeah, a clue. But yeah, Baskets is good. I liked it a lot.
I definitely highly recommend that show. Yeah.
Definitely.
Both these shows are just great that we've talked about.
So what's next? What's on the bill next?
Next, we're talking trailers, recent trailers that have come out for
That's
shows
right.
that we want to watch right now.
And that are coming up.
Yeah, these are coming up actually. I think the first would be the American Crime Story show with
Oh,
OJ.
OJ.
The OJ Simpson trial.
You know what? The OJ trial is probably the biggest trial of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly,
It's
it's
gotta be.
huge.
Yeah,
It's
trial everybody knows. It's
talk about '90s and X-Files, like the OJ
Yeah.
trial. You know, I was like, we were all young.
the trial of making a murder, like the popularity of making a murder back then.
Yeah.
That's the trial everyone talks about right now.
Surprisingly, I think this has been the development for a long time. I've always heard about they're making an OJ like TV series. Well, that's pretty cool. There's some parts though in the trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer, like David Schwimmer is a Kardashian, and he's just.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about David Schwimmer, man. He's just not very.
You know, I think it's hard, especially because he is Ross to a lot of people from Friends.
Okay.
So like you see him and you're just like, man, like it's hard. Like when you're ingrained into a certain role, it's really hard to separate the two sometimes. So seeing him as Rob Kardashian is gonna. Yeah.
Do you
And
think
he just didn't. When he was, what does he say? You don't gotta kill yourself in so and so's room or something like that. Just
I mean, Cuba Gooding looks good as OJ.
Yeah, he looks pretty good.
When he gets mad, he goes, "I am OJ."
Well, and he says, "I'm not black, I'm OJ." Or
Yeah,
something, right?
yeah, that's like that. It's better than tell the truth.
Oh,
but, sorry about bringing that up again. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be a good show. It's getting a lot of good reviews.
John Travolta made a comeback.
Yeah, dude. And like, since it's also just a mini-series, it's not gonna.
Well, they can't make
At first, when they first sold it to me, I was like, "Oh my god, how is this going to be a multiple season show?"
He wouldn't even it wouldn't even get interesting until like season 8. He robs that place. The rest would just be him being poor.
They would have to show him playing for the Buffalo Bills. And
just throw in anything? We need filler.
Yeah.
Remember the OJ filler season where he just watched TV for every episode?
It seems like the trailer is gonna. From what the trailer said, it's gonna. It's not just gonna be about OJ. It's gonna be about the lawyers. You know, everyone around. What's going on?
Well, yeah, they do have a good amount of episodes planned, so they have to.
They have more than enough material. I mean,
oh yeah.
It just kind of the trailer's a little
The
cheesy
Bronco
to
chase?
me.
Oh, you think
I was just
the
about to say
Bronco
the
chase?
trailer goes, "You remember the Bronco?"
The trailer's pretty laughable.
It just reminds me of, you ever see like, what's that Simpsons episode where they have Bart? They have Bart's story, but they have a bunch of celebrities playing him. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot, what is? Oh, when they think that when they think Bart killed Principal Skinner. Remember when they think the mob hired him? Oh my gosh, I thought you for sure remember that.
No,
Anyways, it reminds me of them. That trailer reminds me of shows making fun of the celebrity takings of stories. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I was thinking of the South Park episode where they
that
run
one
in
too.
the Go-Go Action Bronco.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
Go-Go
yeah.
Action Bronco and it rams through the police. Like, goes 2 miles an hour. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Because I can't remember that Simpsons episode.
I'm shocked that you
I know,
can't.
I'm shocked.
You know, remember he works for the mob. Bart's a bartender, and Principal Skinner keeps him after class.
Well, it sounds familiar, but
I cannot believe you don't remember that one. Go home and look that up after this is
I mean,
over.
if we all have FXX on demand, you can watch all the Simpsons episodes.
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah, so there's something there.
But back to OJ.
I'm not black, I'm OJ.
I don't know.
That's what the line
trailer.
is.
Looks
I'll watch it. It's definitely something
Yeah,
that's worth checking out.
It's coming out Tuesday, I believe.
This
it's-
Tuesday?
Yeah, it's coming up fast.
Oh yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
If we're doing this podcast, we gotta watch the OJ movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna say it's coming out Tuesday. I gotta work fast.
No, we can review it. Yeah.
We'll review it.
But yeah, like we were saying, it has potential to be very corny, but it also could be very good because
It did a little
because
corny.
it is basic cable, and basic cable is ramping things up, and I know they want to hit hard on OJ. I know they want a home run on this,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're gonna put some bucks.
Because
into it.
it's such a crazy. You know, I mean, talk about that's probably the biggest sports fall from grace ever.
Yeah.
I can't think of an athlete that's even maybe a celebrity that's fallen so hard
Yeah,
than
it's
OJ.
tough, dude.
So they got enough material to make it good.
Yeah, and I think
He killed someone and got away with it. Like Michael Jackson, too, like it's those are the two big ones that come to mind.
Okay, so Better Call Saul?
Yeah, so the next trailer we're going to talk about is the Better Call Saul trailer, because that's starting up here in a couple weeks in February, so let's talk about that.
Who's not excited? I love Better Call Saul.
What's
I'm sure
great,
it's
great.
What's great too is that whole first season you saw Saul trying to be the good guy with
Yes.
his brother, and that
Yeah.
was so awesome to see. And then now you're seeing
Yeah.
him break. It's
You
awesome.
know what's cool too is that in Better Call Saul, when the show first started, I just wanted him to be Saul right away. I was like, yeah, I can't wait till he's Saul. But the more I find out about this Jimmy character that he was,
Jimmy.
the
Yeah.
more I'm like, oh, I don't want to
Well,
make
it's
him
like the actual
Saul.
version, yes,
You know what I mean? I don't. It's
Yeah.
kind of like with, for example, with the Star Wars prequels with Anakin. At first, you're like, just please be Darth Vader.
Yeah.
But then when he's like fighting Obi-Wan and killing kids, you're like, oh, why?
Yeah.
But with Saul, it's, you know.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then also just being able to bring a lot of light to Saul and Mike, because Mike got a lot of screen.
I like Mike's role in this.
Everybody that I've talked to about Better Call Saul has just been ecstatic about Mike getting a bigger role.
Oh, yeah,
and stuff
definitely.
Like
He
that.
deserves it.
His episode was really good.
Oh yeah, that was the one that really kind of made it go.
Yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree.
The whole storyline with him and his son not being a dirty cop, and he was the
That
dirty
was
cop.
good.
That was incredible.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's been off the air for a long time for some
Yeah,
reason.
it's a good.
It's been a year.
It's been a year hiatus.
It's not a good show.
Yeah,
what
definitely.
about you? What do you think?
I think it's going to be really good. The first season, like we said, was really strong,
Mhm.
and just to see more, I wonder. It's almost making me like holding me in suspense on when he's going to turn into Saul. You know,
Yes.
and they obviously don't have to do it right away. They can take as much time as they want because they've gotten us so attached to who Jimmy is as a person, and so we want to see where he's going. Like, is he going to be Saul now? Is he going to be Saul way later?
I think the second season, this is when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You think
well,
so?
because at the end of the last season, he kind of goes.
We saw him turn.
He takes the money and stuff like that. And what was great though is like we've been talking about how you see little bits of Saul, like when he puts up the billboard,
Yeah.
and when he does the fake, all that stuff. And so
Slippin' Jimmy.
yeah, you see the Slippin' Jimmy is Saul
Yeah.
kind of deal. So it is cool, and you got to see his prior life in Chicago with his friend and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and his
I wish it
friend
would be on
dies.
Netflix or something so I can rewatch it, like catch up again.
They'll always do the like Sunday of just Better
Okay,
Call
yeah.
Saul.
Oh yeah, just DVR it, just
So
marathon it.
yeah, but no, I'm super excited
I'm
for
really
that show.
excited for Better
It's-
Call Saul.
I like that. I just like the character so much.
Yeah.
You know, it's super interesting. The writing's great, and then to see if they'll even go back to like his relationship with his brother,
Mhm.
if anything, because
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, it's just
It's gonna
his
be
brother
something.
really turned into a big ass.
Yeah.
dude. Like,
you don't
he's
think
a-
that at first.
Yeah, you think that they're an actual team, and it's not the truth at all. Like,
Yeah.
He's really against Saul because he got his degree at
They
this.
did a great job of turning me against that guy quick.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I
real
felt
quick.
so bad. What was the brother's name? I can't remember his name.
Chuck.
Chuck. I remember feeling so bad for him because he's all messed up. And then he was the one who was being a jerk.
The whole time,
Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't want Saul to become a lawyer. He thought he was doing fine where he was, as like the paper boy and stuff like that.
Do you guys think we're going to see Gus?
Maybe later down the line.
Okay, because like I've heard rumors about them only having like 3 seasons and stuff like that. There's gonna be more than that, right?
I don't
You
know.
think?
I don't know.
It depends on, I think, just the writing
Probably.
staff. They're pretty good about cutting it off. They could have kept doing Breaking Bad, you know?
Yeah, that's a cash cow.
Yeah, they could have kept doing that, but I think they're pretty good at. They'll know when to cut it off.
Yeah,
I'm
they'll-
sure Bob
they'll
Odenkirk will know. I mean, he's a good actor and he's been in stuff, and
And he has other things going for him.
yeah,
too,
and I'm sure
so
he's.
he
I'm
doesn't-
sure he's smart enough to know, like, okay, look, this is great, but it's run its course. You know, we need to wrap it up.
And I wonder. I heard when they started the show that they might go back to how present Saul, you know,
Well,
working
they
in cinema.
preview that with
Yeah.
him watching the
They're
videos.
definitely, and
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see it because that's post Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
new things that we don't know. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be really cool.
To see if he like will go back to his ways, or maybe he'll just
Just sit there and just
Well,
go
'cause
back to being
Being a
James
loser.
McGill.
yeah.
Yeah, because I remember watching that stuff, and I remember seeing when he's working the Cinnabon
Yeah.
in the first season, and he sees all those people that he's like, oh my god, do I have to worry for my life
Yeah,
again?
yeah.
And I thought that was really, the previews look really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think he really has to worry for his life. I think Walt pretty much killed everybody. I guess spoiler alert if you haven't seen Breaking Bad right now, what are you doing? But well, I feel like Walt's pretty much killed everybody, including himself.
Yeah,
That would be
I
a
think he
threat.
just has a sense of
But he
uneasiness.
still doesn't know.
He's still uneasy.
I might have heard about it in the paper maybe because Walt was, you know.
Yeah, you don't know how far along after Breaking Bad it is.
Yeah, that's right.
It could be very recent, or because how long did Walt stay up there before he came back down?
I think like a year, right? Because it was his birthday.
Yeah.
Or was it even a year?
It could be a few months.
That's pretty insane that
But I mean,
Breaking
it still
Bad
gives Saul some time to.
is only supposed to be like a year long, or a year or two long.
Oh, like
Yeah,
2
that was
years,
one.
yeah.
That was the only like plot hole that I saw in Breaking Bad is they make a comment. They say the Bin Laden whacking wasn't this complicated, but it's only supposed to be 2008, and Bin Laden getting killed didn't happen until like later.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's very true. But yeah, what are you gonna do? Someone's gonna make a mistake, right?
Yeah, I also want to see what happens to all his relationships because, of course, when you see Saul in Breaking Bad, there's nobody. He has nobody else. He doesn't have any friends, any contacts. Kim, that's her name, right?
From
his
the
like
lawyer
kind
friend.
of love interest.
Yeah.
They have something kind of.
It's almost like they
there.
know they shouldn't be together, but they like each other.
Like something's got to happen there, so that tie gets broken. They already kind of like
They broke off
did it
Chuck.
with Chuck, but I mean, more is gonna happen.
Yeah,
there.
definitely.
Yeah, like going back to the Star Wars prequels, you knew all these people you'd never see again were gonna die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm sure they won't all die, but something's going to happen where they're
Yes.
not with Saul anymore.
Yeah, because they have to explain like, oh, so this is why he's not there later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, do you ever think they'd bring? They said they wouldn't bring Walt and Jesse in, right?
They'll
I
probably
heard
make a
Jesse
cameo.
might, yeah.
They'll probably make a cameo. Maybe like Walt will be at the bank or something, run into him. Just something, just
Yeah, I think any little nod to Breaking Bad would be like they get Badger or something.
I think
Or just show Walt in the waiting room.
Yeah, just something
then,
like that.
Yeah.
Just something small like that will be fine. I don't want them to delve too much into it. I want it to be its own show.
Yeah, definitely.
I want it to be its own show.
Well, it stands on its own really well.
Kind of like how I said earlier before the podcast, like Frasier.
Yes.
Frasier's a Cheers spinoff, but it's really, it's not.
It's Frasier.
Yeah, it's just Frasier. It's a totally different show, totally different setting.
You could just watch Frasier.
Yeah, you
You don't need to watch Cheers.
You could definitely watch Frasier and be like, oh, this was a spin-off.
Yeah, and so far, obviously, you don't need to have watched Breaking Bad.
Not at all.
Do you think? Okay, so looking back at the season, do you think they'll do more with Tuco since they brought Tuco in?
I thought that was cool.
That was really cool.
That little like.
He's hands down the scariest fictional character I've ever. He's just so real and it's just scary.
What did you do to my tail?
Man. That whole time when I first watching that, when they're in the desert, having that and they have him hostage, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll get you a new family in the jungle in Mexico." And it's like, you can't just do that. And you're sitting there scared. But anyways, I hope Tuco comes back.
Yeah,
I don't know if he will though. But
I would love to see more.
He's a pretty well-known actor.
Yeah, that actor does other stuff. Like it's not called The Closer anymore, but he was on that show, and it's.
And he does other things.
Yeah.
What a good actor too. Have
He's
you ever seen him on The Closer? Have you ever watched?
No, I've never watched The Closer.
He's not Tuco.
Not even.
Is he like a super nice guy? He's like,
he's a cop.
Yeah, he's like a really good guy.
He's a really good cop. So yeah, not Tuco.
Yeah.
Not this crazy Mexican dude. So
tweaker.
Oh yeah, I forgot they go to Tuco's grandma's house, right?
Yes, and they're all Saul, and they kill that guy.
Yeah, that was
Did they kill somebody in there, right? Or no, he just hurt him.
Yeah, they had those two guys hostage. Remember?
Yeah, that's right. So
and
they didn't die.
And Saul, that's how like he gets in contact with Saul because Saul talks him out of killing him.
Yes, that's right.
And all they do is break their legs.
See, that's what's really cool about Better Call Saul is we see all of his connections coming together.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we've already talked about Mike, but he's just the guy that he has to pay to park his car, and now it's turning into more and more. So it's really cool to see the ball rolling.
Well, you knew Mike was going to get a bigger part because he was such a big connection to Saul.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't know if we'll see Gus because I think I remember him saying in Breaking Bad something like, "Well, I've never seen him. He's very secretive." You know what I mean?
Well, he was Mike's guy.
Yeah.
So maybe it can be on Mike's story.
Yeah.
You might not see a lot of it.
Oh yeah, you won't see it on
true.
You would have to see him on Mike's side of things. Because it does kind of seem like it's kind of 75 Saul show, 25 Mike show.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Because he does have a good portion. Because he has this whole thing with his taking care of his granddaughter, who we saw in Breaking Bad, and taking care of that whole family. And that's the reason why he's trying to break bad again.
Yeah. And they'll definitely have more Mike-centered episodes, just like the one in this past season.
Yeah,
Because they're obviously popular, but they're going to show more of what Mike's doing. Even though it is, about Saul.
Yeah.
They'll throw in the one.
Well, it's because Mike's so important to Saul So like you need
Right.
to also develop that
Yeah.
character.
You guys think? I'm trying to think of anyone else you think will have maybe a cameo or have a bigger part than they had. Huel. That's and Bill Burr.
Bill Burr,
I didn't
Oh
know
yeah,
that.
he's got to get.
What was Bill Burr's name in that show? I just always call him Bill Burr.
I always call him
What
Bill.
the heck was his name?
Is it Kobe or?
It's something like
Oh,
that. It ends with
yeah.
an E.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Huey because there's Huel, but it's not Huey. It's
Oh man,
with
it's
an
on the tip of
E.
my tongue. I can't think of what his name is.
Random thing is Huel and Bill Burr dealing with Ted in Breaking Bad, and he goes, "He just fell over."
It'll be great to see Huel out of the room before
yeah.
he just. I love that. That's like the joke.
What
of
happens if he
Huel.
starts off
He
skinny?
came out of the room.
But,
I think he's a comedian too, so they got two comedians to play that part.
Yeah, they're
both
really-
that did very well.
Yeah, they did really good. I'm trying. His name is just Colby. I think it's something like that,
Yeah,
right?
It's something with an E. I don't know what exactly. it is.
Something like that. But yeah, like we said, we always call him Bill Burr.
Yeah.
It's Bill
I
Burr.
hope to see him back again.
Yeah,
It's,
I think it would be fun.
I know he's
Even
got
if-
other shows going on right now. But I
Yeah,
like
even
seeing him
if
come
we
back.
showed like the slow, just a little minuscule part.
Yeah, something. Maybe in a little bigger part, but we'll see.
We'll
Better
see
Call
what
Saul is good. I'm really excited for it to come back. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
It feels like it's been forever. For
It's
whatever
serious.
reason.
Right around the corner too, in February. So.
That and Game of Thrones feel like the longest hiatus.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
like,
Well, that always just feels so.
I think the reason why I give Game of Thrones so much leeway to take time is because I just imagine it's just a huge deal. It's
Oh
a
yeah,
huge
it's a
production.
Huge
so-
production.
And
But I mean, this is also a huge. Maybe not
yeah,
the same
but
scale,
it's a little
it's
more
also-
low on a lower scale. You
There's
know
no
what I mean?
dragons in Better Call Saul.
Yeah, that's true.
There's not a lot of CGI effects
Yeah.
they need to throw in.
Yeah,
It's-
we'll discuss Game of Thrones.
And that that's another thing about Better Call Saul too is like it has a similar tone to Breaking Bad, but it really does have its own.
I like
tone.
that. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
One of my worries with the show starting was that it was going to kind of ride the coattails of Breaking Bad a little too
Yeah.
much, not be its own thing. Another thing that worried me too is the more things were coming out, they were saying, "Oh yeah, it's a really dark show," and I didn't necessarily want it to be a super heavy dark show. I want it to be kind of funny because Saul's funny,
Yeah.
but the way they're balancing it out is really good.
Oh yeah, the balance is perfect.
Because
It
Saul,
is really
that's Saul's character. You know, he's a funny guy, but you know he is part of a dark. You know,
yeah,
material
he definitely has
dark.
a dark past to get where he
Yeah,
was.
yeah, exactly. So I'm really pleased with where it's at.
Yeah, and like you said, Bob Odenkirk is he's a good actor.
He's a great actor, and this is kind of this was his re-emergence, resurgence, because he did other things, but I don't think he was very, well known.
He had Mr. Show with David Cross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which they have their
Now they
thing
do
on Netflix.
Bob and David.
With Bob and David,
Yeah.
Weird show, by the way. You guys seen that?
It's
I haven't
just
had a
a
chance to
very
see it,
show.
but I
It's,
need to watch
it's funny, dude. It's super random.
I love David Cross. So interesting.
Well, they're both great, but
Yeah.
it's a weird show. But anyways, Better Call Saul looks great,
Better
and
Call
I'm
Saul's
excited
good.
for it.
Yeah, me too.
So is that about it, or we got anything else?
Let's
You got
see.
a Netflix.
Yeah,
picks?
we're
We got a
gonna
Netflix picks, and we're gonna do what we're watching
Yeah,
this
that's
week.
right.
What we're gonna watch on TV.
You doing that first? Or we're doing Netflix first.
What do you guys want? Let's do shows, and then we'll close with Netflix.
Okay.
All right, sure.
Hey.
You want to start us off?
With shows?
Yeah.
What am I watching this week? I'll tell you what I'm watching this week. I'm watching Grease tonight. And I'm
Okay.
excited. I'm a musical theater guy. I'm excited to watch Grease. I don't like Grease particularly, but Aaron
I know.
Tveit is amazing, so I'm gonna watch it. Grease
Yeah,
tonight.
it's following all those live. They're doing a lot of live musicals on TV.
Well, you know what? What was before the Wiz? What did they do before the Wiz last?
was it Peter Pan? No, there was a Peter Pan that started it off.
I know
There was
they've always
Pan, there
had.
was The Wiz. There was
And NBC's always had their like musical big.
The Sound of
musical-
Music.
Sound of Music, something. Yeah,
Carrie
something like
Underwood.
that. But it's gotten pretty popular. It's gotten.
Yeah.
and
Well,
the Wiz
they
was-
did like a semi like kind of like American Idol thing for the Grease thing, right? Like they had people kind of audition.
I think they're all pretty well-known Broadway stars.
Are they-
Actually,
I think some of them, yeah. I think
I think
Vanessa
was it-
Hudgens is in it.
Was it not at the beginning? Didn't they have like a big like thing? Where
I
they
saw
had
that
people
when they
audition?
Maybe
when they did
I
the
don't-
Sound of Music on live. I don't remember what was that
Yeah.
on Fox too.
No,
when
that
they
was
did,
NBC, I think.
when they did the Sound of Music live. I saw that they did a behind the scenes episode before it or
Mhm.
before
okay.
it was on.
So this is
that they
just-
did that a huge casting call to cast
Yeah.
the Von Trapp family, but they casted Carrie Underwood as the lead.
Okay. Yeah.
Vanessa Hudgens
This.
is in it. Huh?
Yeah, she's in it. She's not very good. I saw her on. I saw her do Rent with Aaron Tveit. Actually, also, I think it was Vanessa Hudgens, and she was just really just dragging the show. He was really. You could tell he was like kind of
Well,
irritated.
well, with that show to be good, you do need a little bit more emotion. At least with Grease,
Yeah, definitely.
you're not gonna need to be as.
This guy loves Grease. I don't like Grease pretty good. He loves Grease, but he thinks John Travolta.
John Travolta, and that's awesome.
Yeah, if John Travolta was the dude in this one, he would probably watch.
Is it weird to say I like Grease too?
Ooh.
I'm the only person.
Yikes.
My family is the only people that have watched Grease 2.
Yeah,
I think it's just because it's something we watched all together. We watched it often, and my family just
we're
likes
moving on.
Yeah, I'm watching Grease.
I'm
watching Grease.
But Grease 2, isn't it in the 80s, right?
I think it's in the 80s. I don't know, but
It's Grease 2, man. Does it matter?
Is the Fonz jump a shark in that one?
Oh boy.
I jumped the shark by submitting that.
Sorry.
All right, what are you watching tonight? What are you watching this week?
Me, I'm watching Man Seeking Woman. I can't get enough of the show on FXX. It's the funniest. It's one of the most funny, well-written, clever shows. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. I've seen people say it's a breath of fresh air.
It's new.
Really,
Jay Baruchel's great.
What did they describe it as? Something. The LSD TV comedy or something.
Oh,
weird.
It's weird because
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, because it has these weird exaggerations on dating that are so funny and so out there, but like you understand it.
Well,
like,
one thing that I saw for the commercial for this episode coming up is you see Jay Baruchel and he's just getting picked up and thrown into walls, and you're thinking, what the hell? And it shows these girls and they're on Tinder swiping left.
Oh,
so every time he gets swiped left, he just
pretty
hits
clever.
a wall.
I didn't really even know what it was like. I didn't really know what it was about. I kind of, for some reason, thought it was like what was that show everyone was really into in Comedy Central about that guy? He has a bunch of degrees and he goes and tries to save business.
Oh, Nathan Freed.
I thought it was something like that.
Oh no, it's not like that at all.
Okay, that's
Nathan
pretty
Freed.
good.
It's about this. The reason why you said you heard it's like an LSD trip is because it gets really weird.
I saw from the commercial.
Like-
There's like a Grim Reaper in one scene.
Yeah.
He's talking about his friend getting a girlfriend, and then the guy's like, "What?" And it shows him like dying or something weird like that. I don't
Yeah,
remember
exactly.
what it is.
But the funny thing is like it takes those and they're not like Family Guys. They're not cut twos or cutaways. It's like it really happens like in that world. Like nothing's off limits.
To me, yeah, go on.
Like he was talking about getting a girlfriend that's reliable and all that stuff. And they're like, it sounds like you're talking about a car, and he dates a '98 Saturn. He dates a car
You know what
because
it
it's
sounds like
reliable.
to me? It sounds like it's internet humor in a live like in a show. And
Yeah, you wouldn't be too wrong.
And that
there,
really works because internet humor is probably like the biggest thing right now. Like,
It's so
it sounds
fun.
really stupid, but think of memes are just huge.
Yeah.
They really are, and that's just what humor is now.
Mhm.
And that sounds.
Right.
No wonder
It's-
it's so successful.
It's
That
so
sounds really
funny and
smart.
like it's got great people. Like I said, Jay Baruchel, Eric Andre. Have you seen Eric Andre? Eric Andre is so funny in that show.
He's really perfect for that show too.
He plays his best friend who's like just always like.
I'm gonna check
When
it
Jay
out.
Baruchel fails, Eric Andre's usually like succeeding. It's
Yeah.
really funny.
I'm gonna check that out.
You need to check that. It's so fun. FXX.
FSX? Oh yeah. Oh, for me, I've been, when me and my girlfriend go to sleep, we always watch like Chopped and stuff like that. And there's a Netflix original called Chef. And it's about they go to different areas in the world and they go check out different
Like a
types of
cooking
food.
show.
It's a cooking
cool.
show, but it's different. Netflix is trying to get on everything. And
Yeah.
I'm really interested in that. I've just heard about it, so I haven't watched
Have
it quite
you
yet.
tried to mimic any of the dishes?
No. There's no way. I would love to, but I just
Yeah.
A lot of people love
just don't
to
have
mimic
time.
Food Network stuff.
It's
I
funny. You ever
appreciate
see those
Food
things on
Network.
Facebook? Like BuzzFeed has like how to make this food really easy. Let me just tell you something. It's never comes out that smooth. Not even close.
Hey,
But
you gotta
anyways,
try.
what is the show called?
Chef. So
Chef,
it's just
okay.
real easy.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's easy to remember.
Who doesn't love cooking shows? I could watch Food Network all day.
Yeah, and it's on
It's hungry.
Netflix, so that's
You
great.
do, but then you just go.
Is it like I know they had like Gordon Ramsay used to have like the company. Is it like a reality show or is it
No,
like?
I think they just go to different parts of the world.
Oh,
and
okay.
They kind of check out famous chefs from that
Oh,
area,
cool.
and they also explore the region. Kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
That
it
sounds
seems
good.
Yeah,
It's a travel show.
something. Yeah.
And now Netflix picks.
I'm just gonna go back to Netflix again.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you see stuff.
And I'm actually gonna go with F is for Family, which stars Bill Burr.
Nice. Yeah. That's a good one.
It's about this guy it's based in the 70s, and it's just about the 70s dad, which if you've ever watched Bill Burr stand up, he knows the 70s dad because that was his father. So it's really funny. I really suggest you guys watching it. It's only like
It's
8
not that
episodes or
long.
something.
That's
Yeah,
not
it's
long.
like 30 minutes.
Have you seen it before?
No, I haven't
It's
seen it yet.
hilarious.
I saw the trailer for it a while
So
back
funny.
when Daniel first brought it up and we watched it. It was really funny. I love the trailer.
Yeah, you could
Watch
really
that.
just get it out in one day.
Easy,
So
That's the beauty of Netflix.
yeah, it
You
is.
can
It
do whatever
is.
you
It
want.
is.
and The Curse too, because you don't do anything all day.
You just sit in
I
your
remember
underwear
when
thinking what you do.
when I used to live with him, I would be like in my room, and I swear he was in his room for 2-3 days almost. He would just get up and go to work, but he was watching Daredevil. You remember that? He just sat there and went through Daredevil, and I was like, "Man, you finished it?" He's like, "Yeah, I finished it yesterday."
I could see that too. Daredevil's good.
I'd hear him go, "Whoa, oh!" like just like freaking out.
That's coming back too. I'm excited for that.
Oh yeah, like
so Average for Family is worth checking out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah,
Average for
absolutely.
Family. If you need a good comedy, it's animated, so it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
They got Bill Burr, and then Sam Rockwell plays this like cool '70s dude that Bill Burr hates because he's a fat '70s dad.
Yeah.
And so and then Justin Long plays his son, who's just a piece of crap
Yeah,
kid in the
yeah.
'70s.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a funny show. It's a funny show.
All right, nice.
What are you watching on Netflix? Netflix pick.
My Netflix pick is definitely going to be for going off what you said, like Bill Burr's comedy. John Mulaney's New in Town. Have you guys seen that? His son's have you seen John Mulaney before?
No.
John Mulaney is a really funny comedian, and his New in Town is so funny. He's
Oh, so it's stand-up.
it's a stand-up special. He's one of the more popular comedians right now, or if he's not one of the most popular, he's definitely up and coming. He had a show that unfortunately I don't think it worked out on Fox. It was called Mulaney, but his humor is so funny.
He's very Jerry Seinfeld-esque. He's more in that kind of genre.
Okay.
But he is funny. He's written for like award shows. He's written for I think he's written for SNL at least.
Yeah, he's either the sole creator or the co-creator of Stefan, Bill Hader's character from SNL.
There you go. So
He's
a funny comedian. I've actually seen that stand-up and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a really good special. Definitely worth checking out. John Mulaney's New in Town.
Okay, so that sounds pretty good. I've seen a lot of good Netflix things this week, so it was kind of hard, but I think I'm going to go with The Watsons Go to Birmingham. It is a made-for-TV movie based on the book of the same name. I don't know if you guys read it. I read it when I was a little kid.
Yeah, we read it I read it in middle school.
Yeah,
we read that. And it was
it's really good. It's got its flaws, obviously, but they got good, lovable characters, some good performances. It's pretty good. It's about a black family, the Watsons. They drive down to Birmingham to visit their relatives from the South. This all takes place during when things were very segregated.
Yeah.
There was, separate bathrooms for whites and blacks, and even entrances to movie theaters. Kind of just, they're a take on a little boy's perspective on that. But it's really good. It's got its flaws, obviously.
Yeah, I liked the book. The book was really good.
The book's obviously way better, as per usual. But it's good. I'd give it a check it out.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
So those are our Netflix picks, and it looks like that about wraps it up here for us at Silver Screen and Chill. Join us next time, and thanks a lot for watching.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.